Hi everyone, I'm Sandy. Welcome to my channel. To my very first video on my channel. Let me tell you why I started a YouTube channel. I'm an avid quilter. I'm an avid YouTube watcher, YouTuber. I watch videos pretty much every day when I go to bed. And I really only like videos about quilting because that's my favorite thing. And I kind of watch them all. Ran out of stuff to watch. I watched them over and over and over because I ran out of stuff to watch. So I decided to create my own channel. Maybe you are running out of stuff to watch too. Maybe you just want to join us for the entertainment. The platform that I'm kind of working off of, which is definitely not set in stone, is I like to design my own patterns. Not that I create the wheel all over again. It's just that I don't like to buy patterns. I buy them and they sit on a shelf somewhere. I buy magazines, they sit on a shelf somewhere. Or they get piled up somewhere. So I see something I like, I do a little sketch, and I just make it. I do sometimes follow patterns. I'm not saying they're bad, and I totally appreciate those people that make them. But I like to make my own. I think of it as part of the creative process, and if you want to come along, tune in. I'm going to try to post a video every week. Some of the projects will go week to week, of course, because I don't have time to finish everything in a week. And I'm kind of hoping this channel helps me finish stuff, because I'm really good at starting, as if you cannot tell, and not finishing. So let's talk about what we're going to do today, or what I'm going to show you today. It's about panels. Let's be honest. We all buy them. They're really cute. They're really cool, but we don't know what to do with them. We don't want a quilt that looks like a panel, but we love the pictures that they create in those panels because they really have some great artwork nowadays. The panel that I'm going to show you is one I picked up a few years ago. I can't remember the name of it. I don't know who makes it, but I do remember it was something about selfies. And it's all farm animals taking selfies. So here's one of them. It's cute little cows. Let me get it back so you can see. So there's cows and chickens and pigs and horses and donkeys and all sorts of things. There's 4 this size, and there's one bigger one, which is giving me a bugger of a time, let me tell you. This is the big one. So, what I decided to do, well, actually, let's start at the beginning. I pulled this panel out maybe a month ago, and pressed the heck out of it, cut it up, and proceeded to fold it back up and put it in my drawer, where it stayed for the last month. And then I decided, get it out and do something. I had this block that's been going around in my head that would be a great companion. It'll be fun, whimsical, it's full of color, and it'll work out. Or not, whatever. It'll be couch quilt. You know, we'll sit with it on the couch. I have granddaughters that love animals. They'll love it. So as long as it keeps us warm on the couch, that's all that really matters. So what I did was, the first thing you have to do when you have a panel, and you're going to cut it up, is decide how you want to cut it. So if you can see, there's a little line there. It's white and then kind of gray. Let me get it up really close for you. Normally I would have cut it on that gray line because I don't like all this white framing it, and I would have put a dark border there. But do you see this little butterfly? Look how cute he is. Every one of these small panels had a butterfly. So I cut it so that I wouldn't cut that butterfly off when I sewed my 1/4 inch seam all the way around. Totally up to you how you want to cut yours. I do suggest cutting a size that's kind of normal for quilting, you know, 6, 12, 8, those kind of numbers. Odd numbers are hard. They just don't work out great. I hardly ever do an odd number sometimes, but hardly ever. So what I did was cut 2-inch strips out of navy to sash it, kind of make a breaker border, I guess you could say, or whatever, and kind of give it some kind of definition. I cut these 2 inches because I wanted to have playroom when I trimmed it down. I ended up trimming it to 12.5, thinking, saying you got this in the bag, right? Then when I was designing my companion block on my paper, which looks like this. This will be my companion block right here. It's a little blurry. Can you see that? So what it is a sawtooth star with a white border and then little teeny squares of color and a white border. And then this over here will be my little animal with little squares of color all the way around. So if I make this 12 and then put a 2-inch border, if these are 2.5-inch squares, then this doesn't work out very good. The little star becomes really teeny tiny, or I have to put the color against the star, which I didn't want to do. And I wanted white on the outside up against this color, so you have that break. So I cut my strips 2 inches. I'm going to finish with a 1.5-inch block. It's not something I normally do. I'm not a big 2-inch cutter. I cut 1.5s and 2.5s a lot. But it worked, and I'm okay with that. So I had a bunch of fat quarters laying around. I guess you could call them scraps if you want to. I think it was a pack of like 20, and my granddaughter got into it and cut a few. I'm teaching her how to sew. She made a pillow. I should get that sometime, show you. She's really cute. So if you want to say those little pieces that she cut off created this whole fat quarter bundle of scraps, you could. You could get away with that. I'm good with that. So what I did, I ended up cutting 17 of them. It was a huge bundle. Into 2-inch strips. I think I cut 4 from each. I'll write this all down if you want it. I don't even know if you want this pattern. But anyway, we'll go through the process. You let me know in the comments if you want me to come up with some kind of little pattern. I mean, I could definitely do the companion block because that's lots of fun. And I think it would work in a lot of different settings. And if you use scraps, if you're a scrapper, it would be a great place to use your color scraps. I have a bad habit of just putting scraps in totes. I won't throw them away. Sometimes I keep little ones, but mostly 2.5 inches is my limit. There have been some crumb quilts I'm thinking about doing though, so we'll see. But anyway, stay tuned for that because that's just boxes of junk everywhere. So let's go back. Rewind, start over. How you do this? I don't know if you could see this really well on my board. Let's see. Here's my little block. I sewed 8 2-inch strips together for the sides, 10 across the top. So I actually cut these were fat quarter bundles, so they were only like 20 inches long. I cut them into 10s because I wanted the variety of the colors. So you just put 2 together, right sides together, sew your 1/4-inch seam, press open, and then make 2s, and then make 4s, and then make 6s and 8s. That's how I do it. You can do it any way you want. I kind of like the chain piece, so I do a bunch of 2s, and then I put them together and make 4s. You get the picture. Then I took some... I'll show you that after. So anyway, so you can put the 8s on the side, the 8s on top. Doesn't really matter because you have that little corner. And I have one here done. That's horses. So this is what it looks like when it's done. Isn't that cute? All the color. So this ended up to be 15.5 inches completed. It was a 12.5, 1.5 on each side, not finished. So it'll finish at 15. So my idea originally was, I have 4 of these, so I was going to do 1 on the corner, put my patch block in the middle, and put 1 on the other corner. Then I started really thinking about it, and I'm going to have, so that'll be a top row and a bottom row. That really is going to look dumb if there's 1 patchwork up here and 1 patchwork down here, so I nixed that. Plus it's only 45 inches long or wide. I'm not really big on 40-some inch wide quilts. I make them, but they just don't seem big enough when you lay on the couch with them. A lot of it is because I have a big dog, and he likes to be under there too. So I kind of need 50-ish for my couch quilts, which I make mostly. I don't do a whole lot of big quilts because they're just too cumbersome. But anyway, back to the story. So I put my little blue sashing and my little piece border all the way around. I'm going to do that to all 4 of those. What I decided to do, instead of the panel block, the piece block, the panel block, is to do panel block, pieced, panel block, pieced. So it'll be a little wonky, you know, like most people like all of that, but that'll turn out 60 inches wide, and that's plenty wide. I don't want to go any bigger than that. Then I have this large panel to go in the center, and this is an odd size. It's way bigger. I wrote it down. I think it's right now, it's 21.5 by 27.5. So the center's giving me a little bug. I'm not really sure what I want to do on both sides. Plus I need at least 60 inches long. It needs to be at least 5 foot long. So this kind of needs to be 30 inches, the whole center. And it needs to end up 60. So I am going to put the borders on here like I did on the other ones. I'm going to put this piece color border all the way around like that. Then I'm going to decide. I'm going to add either a white framing border and then just put a bunch of color. Maybe I'll put little piece blocks in there. So stay tuned for next week when I come up with whatever I'm going to do there. Now I want to show you how to make this piece block and what it looks like when it's finished, because you didn't see yet. And it's very cute. Okay. So you saw that little black and white drawing. I do have color pencils. I should color them in sometimes for you guys. I used to do that. I used to sit and draw and color them in with color pencils. Then I had grandkids and they took my color pencils. But anyway, back to the story. I'm really good at talking about weird things. To make this block. So the center, they call this a Sawtooth Block, I think. A Sawtooth star. I call it an 8-point star. I don't know why. But there it is, all scrappy and wonderful. Can you see him? Isn't he cute? So all it is a 4-patch in the middle, and then flying geese units or half square triangle units. So let me show you how I do that. So you saw these. Make some 2s. Take 2 2s, and here's some short pieces. This will work better. So here's a 2, and here's a 2. Put them in this way to each other. Nest your seams up tight right there. Have one going one way, one going the other. I kind of do to the dark when I can. Nest them up real tight. Stitch down here 1/4 inch. Then take this without pressing it open over to your cutting board and cut a 2-inch strip. So this is what it looks like when it's sewn together. Ta-ta. But we don't want to cut it yet. We're going to measure over 2 inches or whatever size your strips are. You could do this with any size block. And this isn't always how I make 4 patches, but it's easy. And I don't like sewing 2-inch squares. I think they're too little. I know I have little hands and I'm a little person, but they're just too, you know, like, I mess about. So anyway, cut over 2, cut. Then you have this unit. Looks like this. And to press it open, what I like to do is spiral those centers. So what you do is you look, see this is going this way and this is going this way, so you want them to all go in a circle. So this goes down, this one goes up, and in order to do that you have to smoosh that center, and look, you create this little teeny tiny 4-patch right in the middle. Oh, why won't you focus? There you go. Isn't that cute? So then I press it down real nice and I have a nice little 4-patch. So I did that here, you can see. It's all pressed in a circle. Then you need to make these half square triangles and flying geese. Now there's tons of ways to make half square triangles. Everybody has their favorite. I use kind of all of the methods that are out there, depending on how many I need, how much variety I want, how many of the same color, what I have to work with. Sometimes I use different methods because I have smaller pieces of fabric and I can't do the 8 method or the 4 method or whatever. So what I did for this one, I don't know why I chose it, was I sewed a strip tube. I took a color strip and sewed it to a white strip, and I stitched on both sides by 1/4 inch, if you see that. Then I have this handy dandy little tool here. It's called the strip tube ruler, and if you can see the 2 line, that goes on my stitches. So let's see if I can put this up there for you to see good. So the 2 line is the solid line, the dashed lines are half lines. My block will be cut at 2 inches. So you line your stitches up with that line right there, and then you cut up one side and down the other. And you get a little half square triangle, which I don't have one handy. Oh well. Looks kind of like this when you iron it open. I do like to nest my seams as much as possible, especially with triangles because they're futzy and you have lots of fabric in the corners. So I actually iron some of these to the white and some to the color. I know some people don't like that, but I really don't. I'm not a fan of opening in the seams. I always seem to burn myself, and it's so much work. I just don't like it. So anyway, then I could nest them up really good. See, when you put them together and you open them up, see how nicely they nest, and you can feel it, and you could smush it and sew down the side. To make a flying geese, whatever you call it, you put your white sides or your goose itself together, lay them on your sewing machine, cut them a quarter, or sew 1/4 inch seam all the way down, and you just open it, and voila, you have a little flying goose. Now I didn't press these with the iron, I finger pressed these, because when I attached them to my 4-patch, I wanted the seams to nest. So if this is going here, then I would press this seam down. So I would kind of eyeball which one I wanted where, and then I would finger press it. And these are bias seams, so you just kind of smush on it. Don't press too hard this way, because it'll stretch. But it'll stretch back, so it's okay if you do stretch it a little bit. So then I press that seam down, this seam is going up, then I can smush these in nice and tight, and then stitch a 1/4 inch seam. So to make the sawtooth, you need white squares. These are 2 inches. You need 4 of those. You need 4 of these little geese, and your 4-patch. So I take my 4-patch, I sew my geese to 2 ends of it. I take 2 geese and sew white on 2 ends, and then I have like 3 rows. Boom, boom, boom. Sew them together. Done. And that, when I finished that, I pressed it kind of the way it wanted to go. I'll show you, because some of them are towards the triangles and some are away. Sorry, got the frog. So as you can see, some of them do go, see, that's kind of bulky. But that's how it wanted to lay. And this one is nice and flat. Do I have that right? No. Where's a flat one? Here's a flat one. See, I really like to do them this way, but they don't all work out that way. So it is what it is. So you've got your little scrappy sawtooth star, whatever you want to call that. I put 2 inch strips, 2 inch white around it, and then I put my piece border. These are rows of 8 and rows of 6. Then I put another 2 inch white strip around it. The white was just scrap too. I had some white, a whole bundle of white fat quarters that I used for a project, and I had a few laying around that were extra. So they are different whites, and some of them are kind of weird looking, but they still read as white far away. So I thought this up against this block with the scrappy sides, sorry, would just be darling. Look how cute that is. Stinking cute. Love that. And it really shows off some piecing, but it's not hard. Most of it's just squares. I'm the only thing making a couple of half square triangles. But really pretty simple. So you guys could do this too. So if you have a panel, cut that thing up. Get some scraps, or not scraps. Put it together. It'd be fun. I do suggest drawing it out first, because I didn't really. And then I kind of got my measurements all jacked up. And I'm still stuck on that middle. I've been drawing it. I don't know what I'm going to do. So stay tuned if you want to see that. I don't even know what I was going to say. So I did tell you, I'm going to plan to post, I think I told you, I'm going to plan to post once a week a new video. This next one will be hopefully getting the center of this put together, and maybe there'll be a third one of putting it all together. I'm not really sure. Maybe I'll just put it together and show you. But my idea is that you guys can tell me what you want to make, and then I'll draw up a pattern and we'll make it together. It'll be lots of fun. You give me ideas. I could give you directions. Now, by no means am I a quilt expert in any way. I love to buy fabric. I love fabric. I love to play with it. I love to stitch it up and make stuff. I make tote bags. Sometimes I make quilts, baby quilts. I do sometimes commission work, but I've been out of that for a while because I just don't have the time, and I feel bad if it takes me 2 months to make you something. So I don't do a lot of that anymore. And things have just been crazy. I just haven't been able to be in my room 8 hours a day like I used to. But I'm back on track. I'm gonna get there because this is my happy place. So come and visit. It'll be fun. It'll be an adventure. we'll get to make some new projects. I was kind of hoping we could do a sew-along one of these days too. Want to do that? Should we do that? I don't know. You tell me. Leave some comments down there. Tell me what you like, what you don't like. If you want me to continue, if you want me to make some stuff and see where it goes. I don't know. Let me know. And I'll see you next week. Stay tuned for some fun stuff. Bye.